Bobby Shoemaker, Andrew Calvano. It is Tournament Talk on the Tournament Edge. We're going to do something a little different for this first segment this week. Andrew, I know you wanted to talk to me a little bit about the NHC last week and get some of your questions answered that you thought may help the viewers out. So the floor is yours.
Without a doubt, Bob. And for the viewers out there that don't know, this past weekend was the National Handicap Championship weekend out in Las Vegas, and our own TT's very own Bobby Shoemaker put out an excellent performance, making it to the final day, finishing 54th. We also were represented by TT by the other guys, Mike Baychuk, John Hurd, Anthony Trezza, and Barbara Bally as well. So TT in full function this weekend. But Bobby, you killed it for sure, and I think it's right for the viewers, to kind of get a gist of what that atmosphere is like. So, like I mentioned before, obviously finishing 54th, what was all the performance about? What were some strategies you were really digging in on? The feel of the contest itself, how you stayed ahead and, made sure you handled your emotions right to make it to the final day.
Well, first of all, thank you. And secondly, I would add that what I took part in last week was the most difficult thing that I'd ever done in my life. As far as mentally graduating college, taking the SATs, nothing was in comparison to that, just because there's so many elite players in that room, Andrew, and you hear screams from guys that have 25, 35, 45 to 1 shots, and it's very hard to stay disciplined and not worry about the outside noise. The atmosphere was something that I'd never experienced before. And I think hearing how difficult it is, Andrew, it just doesn't do it justice, because there are so many racetracks, so many races, and the optional play perspective is unlike something that I had ever taken part of before. I play a lot of tournaments and horse tourneys, a lot of tournaments and Derby Wars, as you know, and the races are already chosen for us. So it really allows you to narrow down the races in which you want to take shots against the favorite. And if you think a favorite's a free squares, we talked about a lot of times on the show, you go ahead and take that horse. That's not the case in tournaments like this. You've got guys working as teams, which I'll get to in a moment, and all they're picking is 20 to 1 shots and above. Much like Ray, who won the tournament, who put on one of the best performances in NHC history. He worked as a team, he was using a software, and he was picking long shots. And it's very, very difficult to stay disciplined and stick to your game plan when you've got guys like that and many others that were looking for big prices. As far as strategy is concerned, Andrew, I'll start with this. I don't think you can go there by yourself and expect to win a championship, because there are elite player after elite player that are working in tandem, whether it's 2 guys, whether it's 4 guys, and they're reading the races from different racing forms, whether it's DRF or Timeform or Brisnet, and they're watching race replays, and they're coming together and they're making decisions on what races that they want to target. And I can speak for that personally. I worked with a couple other guys. We worked day in and day out, up late, up early, 3-4 hours of sleep per night, doing whatever we could to try to find long shots. And you can't do that, Andrew, by just risking through these PPs. You need to go in detail. You need to make a decision on what your optional races are going to be, and then you take the mandatories for as they are. Now, as far as mandatories are concerned, Andrew, I think you pick winners in mandatory races. Now, again, an example of that is Arrogate. I thought he was a stone cold lock. He went off at 4 to 5. If I don't take Arrogate, I might have not made the final round. I moved up 11 spots in that race alone, taking a 4 to 5 shot, because I thought he was a lock to win that race. He wins the race. I move up 11 spots. Then myself and my team decided to move in on the 11 horse at Santa Anita in the last mandatory, and then I had a shot for $850,000 the next day. So I would like to recap again. Stay focused. Don't let the noise bother you, because there's 650 great players in that room. You don't think every single race someone's going to be screaming about their 45 to 1 shot or 12 to 1 shot. I don't think you can go out there and win by yourself. You need to work as a team. And then lastly, as far as mandatories are concerned, just pick winners, Andrew. It doesn't matter what their odds are. If you think the horse is going to win the race, $9 is $9. Take the horse, move on, and then find your prices in the optional races.
Yeah, and obviously, a plethora of great information you're adding here, Bob, especially to the guys that are just getting into the tournament scene, that are watching. A question I have myself is, we play these games, behind the computer screen, and you see the same opponents each time, each out. Did you meet any of those guys, that you could finally put a face to a name and realize, how great of handicappers there are out there, that make it to the NHC?
Yeah, I met a lot of people that said, man, you look a lot shorter on Tournament Talk than you actually are in person. That's what I got a lot of. And all jokes aside, yeah, a lot of guys go, hey, you're the two-turn turf races guy. And I'm like, yeah. And then they give me their handle, and we shook hands, and we'd have lunch together. So yes, it was nice to finally have that face in front of the name, if you will, from all these great tournament players, and just knowing that they're not just good online players, Andrew. They're also good live game players. I think a lot of the times, like poker players, they're very good on the internet because all they do is play the numbers and play the stats, and that's great. But when they get into a room against great live game players, a lot of the times they fold. And in my opinion, I did not see that being the case in this instance. I don't know Ray. First off, I don't know how he qualified and what he does day in and day out or week in and week out to get to the NHC. But I know that there were a lot of tournament players out there that play online that were winning a lot of money, whether it was through the window or competing very well in the NHC.
Yeah, and like I said, Bob, obviously, tip the cap to you. It's a pleasure to work with somebody, every week that, puts on a performance like that on the big stage. And, incredible.
Thank you very much.
Incredible stuff all around from the Tournament Edge.
I appreciate that.
Bobby, once again, let's go for 2018, and let's make it there, my friend.
No doubt about it. Well, thank you again, Andrew. That's Andrew Calvano. That's Bobby Shoemaker. And try to get to the NHC next year. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.